So I've gone back and forth on whether I am going to show the process of writing the poetry for the book or not. And I think what I've come to is that some things are sacred. I do want people to write though. And I think for me personally, something I love the most is just sitting in a space and writing out any thought that comes to mind. Anything that comes to mind, any words. I've been studying words for so long, for the better part of my life now. And to think that I would have to sum that up in a process video, I don't think would be fair, it's my dog, to me and to, my practice. I think the craft of writing is something to be practiced and honored. And I'm saying all this knowing that I'm getting ready to show you just stream of consciousness exercises that I want you to tap in. If you can hold two thoughts at once, that you should be free to write whatever you want, whatever comes to mind, whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're not thinking, and tapping into that subconscious flow. And also honoring words, honoring the words that come that you find hold meaning and value, and however that manifests for you. I don't want to use manifest because that's such a loaded word now as time passes, right? So it's also interesting because words are not a tangible craft that you can see me working through, like clay or paper, making everything else. This is the ephemeral part. This is the fleeting part. And once you put those words on paper, if you're using a pen or a pencil, they're there. So after I've gone through this process of making paper and acknowledging and recognizing how much effort it takes for me to write down just words, silly words, is kind of antithetical, right? I'm overanalyzing this, so it's probably a good time to start writing. I think I want to encourage you all, whoever you are, to give yourself the freedom and the space and a free open page of paper to see your thoughts visualized, to see the language visualized, to see how it plays on the paper. Give yourself that canvas, that medium, to do those things. My dog is in here, so so let's do a practice, an exercise. If you have been following along and seen that I'm I've just been doing these things that I'm not very good at with clay and paper and reclamation, all of those things. You may feel afraid, disheartened to go into this next space of art. Because writing is an art. Poetry is an art. Words are an art. It is a craft. But I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to try to be here, be present in one side of your brain or mind or whatever you want to say in your being. And then on the other side, I want you to be free to be vulnerable. I'm going to be very vulnerable and transparent here now in real time So I'm going to try to encourage you to do the same. So what we're going to do, something that I started out early with, is these writing exercises. So for 30 seconds, I want you to get a piece of pen and paper or pencil. It can be the back of a piece of junk mail, whatever you have lying around. And I want you to get ready to just write anything that comes to mind, absolutely anything at all. Write as many words as you can down. Like anything. Chair, doesn't matter. Whatever you see, whatever comes to your mind after that, just try to tap into that immediate subconscious thought. Our brain is processing so much at one time. And I want you to just write it down. So we're going to start in 8 seconds. And for 30 seconds, write all of your thoughts. Okay? Ready? Go. Okay. What did you write? I will start. This is so transparent, and I want you to be open too, okay? But you don't have to share it if you don't want to. I said bean because I was thinking about black beans earlier. I guess I probably shouldn't tell you how my thoughts just came about in my brain. But I said bean, beanbag chair, slips around, squish, big squish, miss old big spaces and friends, and tiny beads of foam, beanbag. Yeah, that was just the first thought that came to mind. There's nothing to really process about this. It is just and I did write a lot of words down. And like, that's the thing. Don't think about anything. Literally just write whatever you can. So we're going to try again. This time you guys have a full minute. Sounds like a lot. It's not, but 30 seconds went by lightning fast. Get ready. Set. Anything you can think of. Go. Okay. Seemed really fast, right? So now we have written a full minute and 30 seconds, and hopefully you have some words in there that you like, some thought that you appreciated. Do you want another minute? 2 minutes? Do you think you could write your conscious, subconscious thoughts for 2 minutes and continue to flow? I think so. So let's give it 2 more minutes. Hurry, go. Okay. So I will share what I wrote. My dog's still in here eating their bone. That's probably what you hear in the background. But I'll share what I wrote. This was in 2 minutes, just so that you get an idea. And then I'll go over the next process for what that looks like if you guys want to keep going inside of that creative writing space. Silver-lined clouds, clowns on dancing seals, trapeze people. By the way, this is really hard to read because I'm writing super fast and that's the point. Trapeze people. To the little empty spaces and chairs at the circus, bachelorette party woos, blonde hair, pink shoes, little boozy short glasses, fiancés' faces beaming big, later discarded in the gutter on Drayton Street. Brown little doggy bone, doggy door, dash, dasher, prancer, and reindeer games. Jack Skellington was framed, stained glass window panes. We pray to all of the saints. Good day, sir. Good day, good days ahead. So there's a lot of imagery in there and a lot of kind of interesting, maybe there's some interesting words in what you just wrote. Usually if we were doing this together, then I would try to help you figure out what those words are, but right now I would like you to find some thought or phrase. It could be a sentence, but something that in that space spoke to you. Thank you. I thank you very much. Okay. So in this particular writing of what I just shared with you, I actually really liked the image of stained glass. I think that holds a lot of power. There's a lot of connotations in that. And obviously there's the religious insignia, and there is also the art behind it. People who weld and taper and solder stained glass. And there's also the idea of it breaking and it being separated, even though it should be one pane. So I think that I'm going to take that word that I just said, stained glass, maybe stained glass window panes, and I want you to take a phrase in your writing, and I want you to describe it as an animal. So I want you to write the phrase that you said. It could be pink cotton candy clouds, and then I want you to pick an animal that makes that seems to, for whatever reason, connect to. For stained glass windows, I am going to pick ants because they all work as a colony, but they have these little vestibules in their tunnels, and they're separated but connected. And so that's kind of what I am going for. So I want you to pick an animal. Could be, if you said pink cotton candy clouds, I would think caterpillar, only because the very hungry caterpillar ate all of those foods. So again, I'm just letting whatever thought flies in my head. And so now I'm gonna write about ants. Okay? You have 30 seconds to write about your animal. And we're gonna start right now. Okay, and I will share with you what I wrote. Ants, brown bears, little ears and tiny tunnels, mandibles all together, rubber tree plant, impossible fiery beings. Now I'm going to take this idea of the ants, and I am going to personify them in a person. So take what you just described for your animal, take out some traits of that, and then create a character, a person. Talk about their personality, talk about their physical features, don't name them. If an ant was a person, or your caterpillar was a person, how would they walk? How do they talk? Do they have friends? What do they do on a Sunday morning? Actually, we should start there. What is your animal doing on a Sunday morning in a coffee shop? Who are they talking to? Who are their friends? So take that animal, personify them. They just ordered coffee. They are sitting down at the coffee table, and it is a Sunday morning, and they're reading the paper, maybe, if that's what their animal does. Okay? So you guys ready? Take a minute to talk about their personification of the animal. I don't know if it's been a minute or not, but what did your animal do? How did it feel as a person? How does it feel? Yeah, I'll share with you what I wrote about my ant in personified, okay? Doesn't have to be in a coffee shop. I was just trying to give you a framework to get you started, because I know that this is new. This practice of free flow writing is new, so just trying to give some framework. Eventually you can just personify an animal or just choose a phrase. Okay, so I wrote, black coffee intersected in 3 scones, a tiny butter knife. Again, this is really quick writing. Tiny butter knife spreads butter and it slides across the warm scone. Passerby says hello and he clenches his teeth like an ant. Annoyed but unbothered, he bites in. His belly growls and he begins to drag the table across the floor out the door to his home. So I've thought of this ant who, they take crumbs and then they take them to wherever they're from and you don't really see them again, and they're lifting up these giant things that, you know, they have this strength. So here we are all the way from a beanbag chair to a stained glass window to an ant to a really strange man taking a table from the coffee shop to his home. So we can keep going into this character development of this character now, this person, if you will. It does not have to be real. It can be absolutely imaginary. But something that I do want to do, you can hear this little dog if I'm not petting her. Ma'am, we are in the middle of a writing session. Yes, right here. Yeah. Yep. So you can come over here and I'll pet you, but we are writing. Okay. At this point I would normally just take a break, but I'm actually really excited about this character that I just created. So now this character is going to, we're going to go all the way back to the stained glass. I want you to go all the way back to the first phrase that you found in that first minute of writing. I want you to go all the way back to whatever that phrase was. And I want you to forget about helping verbs, forget about the in-betweens. I want you to write about that character and how it connects with that phrase. Not going back in the conscious framework that you just did. Right now I'm gonna have to write about ants and coffee shops and stained glass. So whatever you feel most connected with, like something that I really enjoyed was the clenching of teeth. And so I'm gonna kind of continue on with that idea and try to bring it back to everything else that I've tried to tie in, okay? So we're gonna do another 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. 5 minutes is really fun for long-term conscious flow, but that's something that you work into. So right now we're just gonna keep it short form, and then I'm gonna start working on the poetry that I'm gonna be putting into the book. So, are you guys ready? You have 2 minutes to create, to connect these phrases, these ideas. They don't all have to be included, just whatever you feel you want to include. Okay, go. Okay, I'm gonna share this idea. This may be something that I later draft and edit to expound upon, to work into a poem later, but it has expanded. The point is that it expands your first idea so that you're not just saying like, it's Sunday, I went to play and then found that I was dismayed at the kind of rays that you shone on my face. Like, if you're gonna write, honor it. I'm not saying that rhyming is bad. I'm just saying that if we can tap into this subconscious flow, we are going to just come up with just way more expansive thoughts, deeper art, and connect with that. And that's what I'm hoping that all of this has led to, that you will create deeper art for yourself, for other people to enjoy, whatever that is. And just to go back through the exercise, you take 30 seconds of subconscious writing, you take another minute free flow writing, then you take 2 minutes, then you take a phrase from that 2-minute one, something that you resonated with, that clicked with you, that you really like, a phrase, word, sentence, whatever that is. You take that and you make it an animal. And it sounds crazy, just do it. So then you're describing the animals and a setting. Create a setting for the animal where they are a person. This is after you've already described their character, something that the ant does as an ant, as an animal, something that the animal does as an animal. Then you put it inside of a framework, a normal person framework, a human framework. Maybe they're in a house, maybe they're sitting in a living room with their kids, maybe they're on the back porch, maybe they are at a bar they don't want to be at, maybe they're at the coffee shop, okay? So the ant is now a person inside of these human space. And then go through and connect, find some line of connection between all of those things. So for me, it was stained glass, ants, and this guy that was kind of annoyed and uncomfortable. And I do like that he was trying to take a table away from the coffee shop, but that did not continue in this line of thought. So I'll read my other line of thought. I'm going to use this for more drafts. And here it goes, okay? Clenched teeth, beads of sweat begin to bead upon his brow. Unhinged jaws and sunlight pouring through pieces of a saint's thorax, crying up and out of the tunnels to the sky above. If hell is below, where do the ants go? The pew is hard, the colors are harsh, the saints mock the smallest of beings. To gods we are ants, to ants we are God. With love, the flood. And I actually really like that. I'm really glad that I did this exercise in real time with you. I wanted to take, I'll break that down analytically. Stained glass, there is that religious fixation. Clenched teeth was when the ant was actually in the coffee shop, annoyed that someone was saying hello to him. Like sometimes I feel like if you like poke an ant or you're in its way, then it's just like, and then it has to go all the way around. Pouring through the pieces of the saint's thorax, that's again the stained glass. And the saint above, when you're in a cathedral or whatever, inside of these tunnels, these caverns inside of the church, that's where the ant tunnels came in again. And then, yeah, just this idea of tying in the religious elements, the stained glass with the ants as a thing. The pew is hard, the colors are harsh. Talking about the furniture was paying back to the guy at the coffee shop taking the table. So then the wood was in my head. So then I had to think about the furniture, the chair, the table, the pew. The saints mock the smallest of beings. So I kind of was going back. It's like when you look up, they're always just massive images, so much bigger than you. And you are minuscule to them. And so then putting yourself in that perspective, even if my aunt man inside of this church who was dripping sweat looking at these stained glass windows was an ant, the perspective and relative size was what I wanted to point out. So then I said, to gods we are ants, because I wanted to be inclusive, and then to ants we are God, and then I said, with love, the flood, because yeah, the earth was flooded, and ants are they're not denser than water, they like float on top, but when they're in the tunnels they might get stuck. So just kind of digging deep into that relative space of vulnerability for creation. So that's that. I am actually going to begin my writing poetry and bring in some other pieces that I've done and kind of edit those for the book. I have like these coins that I need to edit, and I hope this has helped you tap into writing. I'd be happy to do it again, and I hope you make some cool art. Okay, thanks for being here. Now I'm gonna take intangible words and put them down on paper to make them tangible.